Yo, what's going on, everybody? This your man Chris Thorns, and as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch my content. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Ladies and gentlemen, I got an interesting story that I want to share with y'all tonight, and which is kind of touching my heart because, I spoke about this situation night before last. It was last night or one or two, but I know I just recently spoke on it. So let's get right into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look up above me. Ladies and gentlemen, these two children, the young man over here with the sketch picture, and the young lady over here to my left, they have something in common. Both of these babies' bodies pretty much was in the water. The one above me, the sketch, somebody placed the baby body in the water who we presume to already have been dead. They just placed the body in the water to cover up the evidence. All right. And the one on the left, her name is Kyemani Mitchell. And that's what we're going to be talking about right now. We're going to be talking about Miss Kyemani Mitchell. And the story with Miss Kyemani here, she's 9 years old. And out there in Staten Island in Silver Lake, the young lady went down by the water. And I guess she went too far deep off into the water and started to drift away. 10-year-old sister tried to save her, but unfortunately, she couldn't save her 9-year-old sister. They pulled her body out the water, and the young lady did not survive. So here we are again, another precious baby is gone. But don't let me tell y'all the story. Let me let y'all hear it for yourself.
Tragedy in a Staten Island community. A 9-year-old girl dies after being pulled from a reservoir. Welcome back. I'm Christine Johnson.
Hi, Maurice Dubois. The little girl had been at the park with a group of children and a family friend when she somehow ended up in the water.
The girl's 10-year-old sister tried to pull her out, but just couldn't. CBS 2's Dave Carlin spoke with the girl's devastated mother.
She was on a little vacation enjoying some friends she ain't seen in a year and a half.
Samara Mitchell's daughter, Kyemani, died Tuesday afternoon in Staten Island Silver Lake Reservoir. A longtime family friend brought the group of kids here.
I was not there.
If you had been there,
My daughter wouldn't have drowned.
The kids jumped the 3-foot fence surrounding the water. Kyemani got in too deep, and her sister, who is only a year older, tried to pull her out.
Her sister was in the water, grabbing her, saying, "Help me." She said she slipped her, she had her arm. She said when she took her arm off, Kyemani just drifted off. She said she looked under the water. She didn't see her sister, so she just got out the water. She said everybody was screaming at me, "Kyemani, get your sister. Kyemani, get your sister."
Kyemani's mother told me her little girl had no experience with bodies of water, not even a swimming pool, let alone a place like this.
Kyemani was happy to play in a sprinkler with water balloons. It was her first time ever going somewhere, 9 years of her life.
There was no answer when we went to the Staten Island home of the 31-year-old woman who took the children to the reservoir. She was questioned by police, but not charged with any crime.
She had 8 kids somewhere that had no business being there. Right now, I'm just gonna lay my precious jewel to rest.
how do you want her remembered?
Dancing, asking me for her favorite cereals, just being Kyemani, hugging everybody. I miss my baby.
Kyemani had been excited about moving up to the 4th grade at PS 306, less than a mile from her home in East New York, Brooklyn. Family members say some staffers at the school are setting up a GoFundMe page to help them. Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
Again, like I showed y'all, the same thing happened with the other child. But see, they haven't even identified the other child yet because they don't even know the other child's name. You know, first look at the picture, you think it's a female, but it's actually a young boy. We don't know his name yet. And it's the same thing with this young lady right here in the water, you know, and things took a turn for the worse. And you heard what the mom said, you know, they shouldn't have been down there in the first place, you know, which I guess I agree or whatnot. But then again, I heard in the news that they said that the kids jumped the fence or whatnot. So, you know, I guess they don't make too much of a difference, you know. They probably shouldn't have been down there in the first place, you know. But I want you to understand this. Just like the story I did in Houston, the 10-year-old saved the 1-year-old, got the 1-year-old out the apartment, and to get her and him to safety till folks got there, or unless the folks was already there. And now you had another 10-year-old try to save her 9-year-old sister, and the poor child couldn't save her sister, you know. And now we got another child that's lost in water, you know. This young baby drowned, and I can see in the mom's face, the mom is emotionally drained. You can just hear it in her. She just emotionally drained, you know. And sound like she was barely breathing to even talk, you know. So again, guys, I want to report these news. I don't know how it feels to lose a child. I don't know how it feels to lose one because I don't have one of my own. But I can just imagine, how it feels for anybody to lose a child, male or female, you know, and in the manner of how they precious children are being lost, you know. So, as of right now, this story is still fresh. I don't know if the person who had the children, are they going to face any charges or whatnot? But they saying this somebody, I guess they knew and they just came back around or whatnot, and she allowed the child to, I guess, go hang out with a couple of buddies or whatnot. And for what we just heard, she was going to the 4th grade, you know. So, man, just very tragic and just very, very heavy on the heart. Just heavy on the heart, man. Very heavy on the heart. And let me see if I can go a little deeper with this. And it goes on to say, you know, drowning, death of 9-year-old girl in New York City Park Reservoir. Okay. I know I looked on, on Google. They call it Silver Lake, but I guess it's the same thing. The Reservoir, Silver Lake, I guess it's the same thing, you know. Yeah, I see where it says right here. It says she was holding my hand, but she let go. Wow, so sad. Samara Mitchell, her face damp with tears, kept looking toward her Brooklyn apartment door, waiting for a 9-year-old daughter. I was saying Kyemani, it's Kyemani. So let me get her name straight. Kyemani, her guy, liked to walk through, but Mitchell knew her adorable little girl would never return to their Linden House apartments in East New York after Tuesday afternoon celebration of a friend's graduation, the first week of vacation from school. Wow, they must just got out of school. Kyemani decked out in pink bathing suit and pink flip-flops, slipping beneath the water after letting go of her 10-year-old sister's hand, the family said. My baby drowned in the reservoir. Mitchell and her mother of 4 sobbed. She needs to show up at my door. My baby was my guiding light. I can't believe. It goes on to say, police said Kyemani and 6 other children, accompanied by an adult family friend, hopped the 3-foot fence around the reservoir to cool off on a steamy early summer afternoon, though swimming is forbidden at the city reservoirs. The woman called 911 after Kyemani disappeared beneath the water, a police source said. The FDNY scuba unit pulled the unresponsive child out and rushed her to a Richmond University Medical Center, but she could not be saved, authorities said. A Soman Kimora 10 Asomi. I don't know what they're saying right here. Kimora 10 told the Daily News she tried to save her little sister. She said, "You can put your feet in the water, but don't go too far," Kimura said, referring to family friend Jasmine Brooks, 31, who used to also live in the Linden Houses and accompany the children. Mitchell said Brooks was reunited with the family after 2 years and went along with the kids on their graduation and vacation celebration on Staten Island. "We went in the water, and Kyemani said, 'Hold my hand,' and I was holding on to another kid's hand," the little girl recounted. "She was holding on to my hand, but that's when she let go," Kimura added. "Jasmine was telling me to go get your sister, but I couldn't. She was struggling to get back. The water was pushing her away, and then we couldn't see her anymore." Samara Mitchell said she didn't understand why the celebration wound up at the reservoir. She said neither of her daughters knew how to swim. Why were they somewhere they shouldn't be that was a restricted area? The distraught mother said, "I had no idea. I had to hear the story from our 10-year-old. It's horrible." Mitchell said it was actually the kids' second trip to the reservoir, where they had splashed around a day earlier. "They've been to the reservoir twice," Mitchell said. "They went Monday. They were throwing rocks and playing, and they went into the water then too. Tuesday, my daughter drowned." Mitchell said she and Brooks had been pals for nearly 5 years. Now she wants accountability. "She was a close and trusted friend," Mitchell said. "She had no business being there with 8 kids. The police said that's in the DA's hands. They say if they get enough evidence and the DA makes a decision, they'll arrest her. I want her arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. She had no business with 8 kids there and going into a restricted area and letting them go into the water. She let a 10-year-old go into save a 9-year-old. Yeah, now I'm kind of went on there, why would you tell a 10-year-old to go save a 9-year-old when you should have went out there and got that child, so I'm with her on that part. Anybody with right sense knows she needs to go to jail. The NYPD spokesperson said nobody has been charged and the investigation of the tragic incident was continuing. Brooks could not be reached for comment. Her landlord, Ahsoka, I can't say that name. I just say Ahsoka, said he had spoken to her briefly and that she was shaken over the tragedy. He said she told him she had tried to save the child but could not reach her. "She's doing bad," he said. "She looked like she been crying. The kids don't want to talk to anybody." He described his tenant as a nice person who called him and his wife Ma and Pa. He said Brooks' children never go without her. Mitchell and her family were surrounded by weeping relatives and friends Tuesday night who jammed into their 3-bedroom apartment to console them. But there was no comfort from Mitchell. "My baby, she'd never been on the reservoir before." Mitchell cried, glancing at the door, waiting to see her guiding light. She thought it was just water, and she should go in. And that is the end of that story. Now I'm curious now. I'm curious of what the outcome was going to be with this. I'm very curious with that right now. Will the friend get charged for negligence? That's what I'm curious about now. Will the friend get charged for negligence, or would they even consider that negligence on her part that these children was down here by the reservoir and had no idea? Well, according to the mom, they shouldn't have been down there in the first place. I guess one thing, for them to jump the fence. She wasn't paying attention. She missed it. She totally missed it. You know, and the girls was playing in the water, and thing just took the turn for the worse. But then you turn around and said you took them a couple of days prior, you know. So with that being said, you took them down there twice, when according to the mom, they shouldn't have been down there in the first place, you know. So this one is, I'm very curious about what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen with the friend after this, you know. Wow, man. But well, I'm very shocked. I really don't know what to say about this, you know. Other than, let me just say this. Let me say this. A lot of us, we constantly trying to do good deeds for people, especially children. We want to show children a good time. We want them to have fun. You know, we just want everybody to enjoy their summer day by day. You know, i.e. example, go to the mall, maybe birthday parties, or you know, things like that. But on something like this, you know, if you know the children can't swim, then they got like little baby pools that the girls could have went in and chill in the water, in the little swimming pools or whatnot, things like that. You know, so and I don't think a lot of people who does that with children, watch other people's children, the intent is to be negligence, or the intent for them to lose somebody as child. But a lot of people, I don't think that's the intent. But of course, in the era that we're living in now, a lot of them is the intent to do harm to other people's children, because we just got some evil folks in the world, you know. But as we can see now in this era, we really have to be careful who we leave our children with. Even people that we probably known for a while. I mean, things can happen. Things can happen, you know, whether it's intentional or unintentional. You know, things can happen, you know, and that's the sad thing about it. So, you know, we have to watch, or just be careful who we let watch our children, you know. And that's what it really just come down to. We just got to be careful of who we let watch our children, who we let them around, because ain't nobody gonna take care of your child better than you. All right, a lot of times, nobody gonna take care of your child better than you. Let me say a lot of times, because again, I am a vlogger, YouTuber. I've done many stories that it be a lot of parents doing the dirty deed to their own children. So I'm going to limb and say a lot of times, can't nobody take care of your child better than you. You know, so. Man, I hate it. I hate this happening for this young lady. So to you, little Kyemani, rest in peace, young lady. You know, I'm sorry that this happened to you, and you know, and if there is injustice to be served for the young girl, and I guess again, the thing they can get away with is negligence, then let justice be served. But as always, guys, you know what? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this. You know, what do y'all think about this story? You know, it's weighing heavy on my heart on this. You know, this, man, it's really deep. That's deep, man. That is real deep. Anyway, I'm your man, Chris Thorns. Thank you for listening. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for more stories and updates. Thanks for watching.